Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Thank you so much for your patience while I was off the last couple of weeks. I kind of hit the ground running with YouTube in the new year. I was like, I'm going to post 2 times a week or bare minimum once a week, and here we are. Our whole house got hit with the flu and I was traveling, and then we had 3 family birthdays. So it's been a crazy month. But today I am taking you thrifting at Habitat for Humanity Restore Center in Clark County. And I like coming here for small furniture items that I can resell. So I'm hoping to find some stuff here. Before we go in, I did want to mention that the items that I featured in my last video are now up in my Etsy shop. So if there was anything you liked from that haul, from my $25 thrift haul, that should be up in my Etsy shop now. So thank you for your patience while I got all of those things listed. Let's go in to Habitat for Humanity and see what they have. So right when you walk in, they have this display rack set up with a bunch of outlet covers and light switch covers. They were all kind of different, so I couldn't find like a complete set where you could use it for your entire house. But I was definitely thinking through what room in my house could I use these in. I loved that kind of aged brass finish, and they were anywhere from about $10 to $15 a piece. On the other side of the rack, they had doorknobs. So some of these are vintage, some are not. Some are for dummy doors and some are for functioning doors and latches. I really loved this acrylic and brass set, but those would definitely not fit on my existing doors at the moment. But yeah, they just had so many different pieces to choose from. I almost bought this for my sliding closet door, but I just wasn't 100% sure it would work there because I was not prepared to be looking at doorknobs. So therefore, I hadn't studied the doors in my house where I could use something like that. Next up was this modern black and marble coat rack. It was authentic marble, but it wasn't in the best condition. Right next to the coat rack, I saw this pair of matching dressers, and while I loved the carved detailing on these pieces, I didn't love that wood tone with this travertine top, nor did I love the price at $400 a piece. Now, I always love looking through the wall art and the wall decor at this Habitat for Humanity because they always have such fun and unique pieces. And they're also always very affordable. So I love that cartoon cat piece. And then I spotted this really cool vintage poster. It had a little Picasso signature on the bottom, and it was only $1, but it was really damaged on the bottom. And yeah, it's not something that I would have bought in that condition. So my son is really into anything basketball or NBA themed, and his whole bedroom is covered in NBA posters right now. So when I saw this little pile of NBA posters, I had to dig through it, and I'm definitely going to get this 1996 Lakers Shaq poster. Now, the mirror section is always really full here. They don't always have the best selection, but they definitely have a lot to look through. I loved this gold carved edge mirror. It was really large, and it was only $45. It would be great for a bathroom. Then I spotted this vintage bamboo mirror, but it was $225, which it was really large, and I know it's worth that price. However, for reselling, it's not something that I am going to invest in. On the other side of the mirror section was their oversized wall art, and they were really well organized today. This piece was only $25 plus 25% off, and I loved the coloring and just the overall picture. However, the cropping within the frame seemed off to me, and I wasn't quite sure on it, so I did not end up getting it. Now, I have found some pretty amazing lamps at this store. Today, it was looking a little bit picked over, but they do always have some unique pieces to look through, and they also have a whole rack of just lampshades. So if you just need to replace your lampshade, this would definitely be a good place to look. I spotted this retro chandelier, and I tried looking it up because it looks special and legitimately old, but in excellent condition, and it was only $60, but I couldn't find much information on it. I'm always looking through their chandelier section because I'm casually looking for a new entryway chandelier for our house. So I just like to look and see what they have. I thought this brass one was really pretty. However, it's not quite big enough for my space, but I love the detailing on it. Then I noticed this kind of honeycomb hammered gold pendant light. It was a really good size and it was $60. And yeah, it looked brand new, probably a piece that had been returned to a store or something like that. Now, old me would have loved this semi-flush mount light because of the Art Deco style. It was $120 though. When I was walking through the home decor section, I noticed what appeared to be a bamboo magazine rack. However, the tag said something like Haitian handmade sorting rack or something, and it was beautiful and it definitely vintage, but there was some damage and that price just wasn't right. It definitely seems like the prices have gotten a lot higher here since the last time I shopped, so I'm hoping it's just a fluke. I then spotted this Mickey Mouse paper towel holder for only $8. I looked it up online and you can resell these for around $75, but I wasn't really in the mood to shop for smalls, so I decided to pass. Now I'm finally in the furniture section, and I must admit, nothing really jumped out at me at first, which usually I walk into that warehouse and I can tell which pieces are popping out, and today the pieces were just a little bit more hidden. I absolutely loved this vintage dresser. It was $110, and just look at the front of these drawers, you guys. I cannot believe the shape and detailing. However, it definitely felt like veneer, even though it was Bassett brand, and there was some damage along the bottom edge, which was really disappointing. Now, this piece is way larger than I normally would buy to resell, and due to that damage and the price, I decided to pass. Then I spotted this dresser for $125, and the pink tags were discounted. This one didn't feel as high quality, and the drawers were not dovetailed, and they just felt a little bit flimsy, but I definitely loved that oak finish with that brass detailing along the front of the drawers. Again, a dresser of this size is not something I normally buy to resell just because it's not worth the effort of hauling it, and they're harder to sell because a lot of people don't want to come pick up and haul a piece that large themselves when they're just buying it from Facebook Marketplace. I love the shape of this little vanity, and the drawers were super funky and fun. It was real wood, and yeah, it was just in cute vintage condition. Next, I spotted this massive chest of drawers. I loved the wood color on it, although the speckling felt very rustic to me. The handles were really nice, and once again, I'm looking to see that those drawers are dovetailed in, which just means, I think it just means that it's higher quality, and that's one way to tell if it's made of real wood. Correct me in the comments, though, if I'm wrong, and there's another reason that that is important to people. I thought that piece was beautiful. Then I noticed this whole set, although it is missing another nightstand. This is a piece that I would buy. If they had the pair of nightstands always sell really well. And of course I noticed that it is a vintage Lane piece, but again, there was only one nightstand and they were selling this whole set as a set for one price. So while you could try to negotiate and see if they would sell them individually, I didn't want to hassle that because there was only one nightstand. So now I'm noticing the mid-century modern silhouette and legs on this piece. I can tell it isn't high quality and it's probably made of like MDF or just laminate or whatever. But if you do like mid-century style without the price tag, that was a gorgeous piece. I also noticed these little nightstands. They were actually quite tall, but when I opened and closed the drawers, I could see damage and to tell that they were also really low quality. Now I'm perusing the stools and chairs, and sadly these woven stools only came with one. I wish there were at least two of either of these stools because I thought they were both so gorgeous. Then I spotted this little kitchen table that I thought would actually make a really nice kitchen island, and it was only $45, which is a really good deal compared to some of the other pieces and prices they had today. Unfortunately, none of the coffee tables really jumped out at me today. They still had a lot to look at and the prices were fairly decent, but they just weren't the style that I normally go for. However, like I said, they did have a lot of options. Found some more chairs, and this one was really cute. I loved how modern it was. It almost looked like vintage IKEA or something, but it was $45, and like I said, there was only one. It was also really small, and it couldn't stand alone, so I decided to pass. I loved this chair. It was $55, and it reminded me of a vintage Tommy Bahama or Lexington style chair. There was no maker's mark, but when I looked it up, similar chairs are selling for hundreds or thousands of dollars. I'm not usually drawn to pieces like these because they are new and look very generic to me. However, they do resell pretty well on Facebook Marketplace because everyone is always looking for chairs and stools. So if you're into that vintage Jenny Lind spindly style bed, definitely check out your Habitat for Humanity Restore Center because they always have a plethora of beds in this style in sizes from twin to queen. Actually, one of the first purchases I ever made at a Habitat for Humanity was a spindle style bed that I spray painted a bright green color for my son's bedroom. Now my cart is loaded and I am ready to check out. I didn't get a ton, but I love it when my cart is full. So I had a really good time. I actually ended up talking to this older lady who owns her own vintage shop in Washougal, Washington, which I take you guys there all the time to that new Goodwill. So she invited me to come and check out her store. So maybe one of my next videos will be a little tour of her store. Sounds like it's a bit more of a like curated vintage shop. I'll tell you more about it when I go there. But anyway, we talked for like 20 minutes and she convinced me to get this chair. She said she doesn't know anything about furniture, even though she has her store. She's a retired CPA, but she liked the chair, and so I decided to get it. I'm not going to get that. I did not get the cushion that goes with it because it's just gross. And yeah, hopefully I can make some sort of profit on it even without a cushion. I also did end up getting the vintage shack poster for $4. My son is gonna love it, I think. And yeah, his whole room is covered in sports posters right now. So we are in that phase of life, and I thought, what's one more, especially this cool vintage shack Lakers poster. Altogether, I think I spent $64 or something with tax. So hopefully I can make at least that back on this chair. I have to do more research on it because there's no maker's mark. It looks like a vintage Lexington Tommy Bahama type chair. But again, without the cushion, you know, my buyers are going to be more hesitant for sure, because they will have to get their own cushion, and it's not a chair that you would really sit in without a cushion. So I could always source my own cushion as well to include. So maybe I'll just check Amazon or something to see if I can find one that's the right dimensions and make it a little more enticing to sell. But I still think it's a high quality chair and it's in amazing condition. So that's going to be all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you're having a great week, and I will see you in my next video.